have very parallel experiences
Yes.
through your life. There's a lot of symbioticness. I'm not sure what the word is.
Symbiosis.
There you go. We'll go with that.
I am the word guy.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, there's a lot of that. So what kind of role do you think that plays in your writing together now? Because again, you guys have a lot of these experiences that line up over time.
It seems like to me that it helps with the creativity for sure.
I would imagine.
And he's got so many different experiences of stuff. Whereas I played in a progressive rock band.
Yeah.
And all we were worried about was making it so hard nobody else could play it. Or
and they
sing
succeeded.
it. Or sing it, And so, I mean, I just was from that mold that it's got to be 120%.
Right.
And you got to play this and you got to sing this at the same time. And I mean, I never played any blues during that time.
Yeah.
So when I sit down, my wife always tells me, when you play the blues, you sound happy. You're not supposed to be happy when you sing the blues. So, because I'm just trying to do what I can do,
Just for a pause, I have to tell a quick story for those out there who may not have been in attendance. The first time I saw these guys live was not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago. And they played a 14-minute blues song. And I looked at my wife and I said, you know what the name of this song is? She goes, I have no idea. I said, this is called Our Set List Ran Out 2 songs ago.
Was it that slow blues song?
Yeah.
But you know what, though? Whenever we play that song, I always just make it up as I go.
I know.
Yeah, it's
just
I'm aware. I know the tricks. I've seen the tricks, but I looked
you know what? It was all about the girls, and they seemed to like it.
Yeah, but I told her that, she was like, you know what? That's probably true. I said, oh, I know it's true.
Oh, sure.
Their set list done run out. They're doing this stuff now.
Well, we didn't play enough guitar solos.
No,
Ricky didn't get a lot of his guitar solos, and I didn't get some of mine, and we had planned to play things a little longer, but we're so used to doing
it was a great show, and I know you guys were practicing some stuff out on us too. I felt like a very happy guinea pig, believe me.
There was plenty of songs that we hadn't really played much.
Right.
So,
and one thing I want to talk about, because it's so apparent just from the one show that I've seen from y'all, you guys are really finding passion in each other now, aren't you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Well, I always say that if you're not having fun doing this, you're not having any fun. But at the same time, the greatest, I think, to me, especially as a performer and a songwriter, as an artist, is I can never be like a guy that writes books or somebody that paints paintings where you work on it for 2 years and go someplace and somebody may not like it.
Right.
See, to me, the great thing about it is, especially in the music business, we pour out our lives, our hearts into what we really want to do.
Right.
With our new CD, we're going some different places. We're kind of going in a spiritual way, in a philosophical way, in a way that we're really tearing our souls out.
Mm-hmm.
And the greatest, I think, reward is when you've written a song, and when you play it for people, you see them really liking it, and see it even affecting them. Mm-hmm. Maybe making them happy, or maybe get a tear in their eye.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And all of a sudden, see, that's that synergy. That's that, oh gosh, what's the word I'm looking for?
It's a connection.
It's the connection. It's like all of a sudden there's this invisible line between them and us. And when it's your song, that is the greatest.
I agree.
Yeah. The greatest thing that you can get as an artist.
Yeah. To
know that what we have created, they like it, and it affects them the way it affects us.
The new record is incredible, and just to expound on what you're talking about the record, it's obvious it's all about freedom, and the freedom of your own creativeness is what I'm talking about, because there's no attempt at being marketable or commercial with this record, and it's so apparent. And I'm a huge fan of roots style music, like the new record. So as a listener, I can always tell when somebody is trying to make something sellable. And that's not here anywhere. And that's why I'm a fan of this record.
Well, we're trying to tell a story, send a message.
Right.
And we're trying to get to people's inner emotion, And I think a lot of the songs, what really gets me, and I didn't get this with progressive rock. Mm-hmm. Because you're playing these big places, and sometimes it's 500 people, sometimes it's 5,000, sometimes it could be 50,000. And you don't get that connection with the audience.
No, you can you can play
flash
that
pods
music.
are going off, and there's light
Or you
everywhere.
can play that
jumping
crowd,
around.
that 50,000 people, and not reach a single listener.
Well, what's really cool though is we play these listening rooms where we did one. Okay, I tell you, we did one down in Temple, Texas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and we walked in and we didn't do anything but play guitar and sing. No PA, nothing.
Yeah.
There was about 35 or 40 people there. Every seat was taken.
Oh, that's
and
a
it was
great
in
show.
a rotunda. And what was really cool was that we were playing this song "Good Crazy," which you probably not heard it yet. It's another one's song Bubba wrote. But we're playing that song, and I'm looking at this lady. She's probably 50, 60 years old. She's back there, and she's got her Kleenex up.
Yeah.
And I mean, she's so engulfed in what we're doing. And I thought, man, this is why we do this. This is exactly why we do it. Because we're actually...
That's the definition of success, right?
We're actually connecting with them, Yeah. And I think, when we played for tips, and I don't know, it was $300-400 in tips. But it was great. But it was really rewarding as a musician, as a performer, that they got it. And that's, man, that just doesn't happen very often. And when they get it, that's just, you just feel really fulfilled.
Well, I just feel like that we've succeeded in our quest, so to speak. When you see other people doing like that, but I have to admit, it didn't bother me too much to be on stage at the Texas Jam in '82 either, so that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
What's crazy is I saw some people at that time. I was telling you about, I left and had a little country in the country. There were some people that came to that show way up in the banisters, and they put out a huge banner that says, "Hey Bubba, it's everybody from Granbury." I thought that was so cool.
Yeah.
I still have that, by the way.
That's cool. Then we talked about Point Blank, and one thing I have noticed as somebody, we have a lot of mutual friends, Ricky Lynn and Don Hiles. And gosh, anybody that's been a musician in this area forever, I'm just huge respect for them.
Those are our brothers.
Yes, mine too, and that's a huge honor to be able to say that. Believe me, but I've heard the stories and the legends of Point Blank, and man, let me tell you what. Gosh, you guys were big in this area.
Well,
like big. Like we're 40 years, 50 to 30 years later, and there is still Point Blank stories at just about every venue I go to. You can find a story from somebody about Point Blank.
Well, the thing about it is, the original members like Buzzy and Kim and Rusty and Philip and all that, and Johnny O, those guys laid the foundation for that band for years.
Right.
They were the ones that were out there busting their butt, turn and turn and turn and turn and turn, forever. And they laid the foundation for that band.
Yeah.
And I just happened to come in at the right place at the right time again.
Yeah.
And just happened to have the right song that would fit them.
No talent in you at all. Right.
Well, I'm just saying.
Just so happened.
Well, I'm just saying though.
I know.
What's the irony of that?
Yeah.
That I just happened to be ready or
maybe it's equal part luck and equal part know-how.
Well, ultimately, it's a.
I'm not going to get him to admit it.
In my opinion, it's a blessing.
Yes.
Okay.
I agree.
And I realize that, and because I know there's so many musicians, they're so much better than I am. They just can't seem to find a break anywhere, and it just makes me feel really bad. But at the same time, once again, when the door opens, you got to be ready. And you
See, there's that circular moment we were talking about earlier. You just took us right back to "I Tried," which was the first song.
Right, exactly.
Played. See, there's that circular motion.
There it is.
The two bands, Point Blank and Savvy, I hear about them all the time. Never got a chance, obviously, to see either one live. Thankfully, there's plenty of stuff out there to listen to from both. But those are the legendary DFW bands that you hear about no matter where you go nowadays.
Well, I appreciate that very much. But once again, I realize how lucky I was to be there and have that opportunity.
Yep.
And once again, folks, I thank you so much for not just supporting the band when I was with the band, but continuing to support them after I left and continuing to support them before I was in there, because those guys, they were so good.
Yeah.
that band I was in.
I wish I had met Rusty. I've heard so many stories.
Oh, Rusty
what
was a
an
peach.
incredible band.
Yeah, I've
He
heard
was
so
a
many good
peach.
things about Rusty. I came into that scene just after
Right.
he passed.
Not to mention, he was a world-class guitar player.
Yeah, oh, I've seen that. I've
Yeah,
seen
he was
plenty
a
of
wonderful
evidence
player
of that. But
and a really, really good guy.
yeah, I feel really just. I wish I was there to meet him, but I did get to meet his daughter at the show
Right, yeah.
that you guys
CJ,
put on. Yeah.
You know,
I basically just got a chance to tell her. I said, "You already know this, but your dad was a badass."
oh, absolutely. You know, here's the thing. I just want to say this about Point Blank, though. The iteration that I was in, all those guys were so good. It was just such an incredible honor and opportunity to sing in front of those guys every night.
Yeah.
But here's the sad part to me. All those guys that were in that band in that iteration have all passed away.
Yeah, they're all gone now. Yeah.
And see, that's the hard part for me. To realize that I'm, once again, so lucky and fortunate and blessed to still be here, number one, and still be able to play with such great musicians like Mike. You know, it wasn't any fall off.
Yeah.
It's just different.
But it's also a testament to memory, and you're here to be able to say their names on stage.
And I'll tell you
And
something.
believe me, I took that from that show when you did that. That was very poignant.
And I really want to make this clear because I know that there's a lot of people, really, from a lot of places in the world, that have asked me if I would like to get the Point Blank band back together again. And this is the way I feel about it. If you're not an original member, if there's not an original member in that band,
Yeah.
it's not.
It can't be that band.
It can't be that band.
Yeah, it has to be at least one original member still.
Exactly.
Around. Yeah.
In my point of view,
Yeah.
I might do something like do a one-off where it's like Bubba Keith, whoever can get together who's still playing,
Right.
and do something like that. But as far as starting another Point Blank band with just me in it, without any originals, never going to do it.
Yeah, it wouldn't work. Yeah, I feel you there. I can agree with that. And there's a lot of bands that'll do that. They'll just switch out their singer. Or, you know, maybe the guitar player is still alive and nobody else is, but they can still use that band.
Well, he was the original guitar player. But see,
Linkin Park's trying to do that right now.
exactly.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, I want to be remembered back then when I was with those guys.
Yeah.
I mean, from that time period, that's the way I want them to remember us.
Right.
Not just me, but us, because we did something very special. And I feel very thankful.
What I love about it all, to be honest, to bring this to the present, is you guys are here now.
Yes.
You're both over 70. I'm not going to say how old exactly. You guys don't have to do
we're
that.
old.
But they're both over 70. Still fabulous voices. Still absolutely bringing it. But more than that, more than the musicianship and the vocalizations and the lyrics and the songwriting, the passion is so heavy here between both of y'all. Not just for each other, but for music still.
Oh, yeah.
It's so obvious and it's contagious, honestly. How does that's just it, right? It's part of who you are. It's built into you.
I don't know how to do anything different.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, I had a car
And that's why
business
you
for a
had to
long
know
time.
after 12, 13, 14 times. He was coming back eventually.
Well, I beat him down, I guess. But, you know, I don't know what life would be without being able to play music. I mean, you know, my wife is so sweet. She says, you know, you really love doing that. And I love watching you. You got to do that. You got to do it as long as you can.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm doing.
Here's my take on that. All artists, they were given that gift.
Yeah.
Now, if you're using that gift, you're happy.
Yep.
That's why you have that gift. Now, let's just say hypothetically, not just musicians, but painters, actors, comedians, whatever. I mean, let's just say a comedian can't find a job. Well, who will stand on the street corner to do it because he has to do it? It's not optional. And like the painter, it's just painting. He has to do it. It's not optional.
Yep.
And the same thing with musicians. That's our gift. And the greatest joy you can have in life is use the gift that you have been given. That's how you truly find happiness.
I love to hear you say this because all that time that you were focusing on family, that passion is still there. You're just putting it off to the side for a while, but it's still there. So when you have a Mike Sauce come along,
Oh yeah.
who's, hey, come on, come play with us. Hey, come play with us. Eventually that's going to win out because that passion is still there. It's just shelved. You're focusing on something different that's more important in your mind at that time.
Right.
But eventually that passion is going to win out and you're going to be back. You just need a Mike Sauce to make it happen sometimes.
Well, like I said, you're going to do it one way or the other.
That's right.
It's got to come out. And I'll tell you something, I think some of the most miserable people in the world try to keep that in. They try to hinder that and say, well, I just can't do it. I can't do it. Well, yes, you can. You know, and once you do that and you let that out, kids, artists, musicians, painters, whatever, please, if you have a gift, use that gift and love it because that's the happiness you deserve and you should have. And I'm not going to preach about that no more.
And I'll tell you what, when you follow that advice, you end up with a beautiful record like The Winds of Time.
Well, thank you.
I've listened to a lot of music from both of y'all. I'm so happy that you guys did this record together. It is really that good. And I think people are going to love it out there. I hope you guys will check it out.